Hello humans, I'm the AlienDoctor, but you can call me Alien, and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition tutorial. This time I'm going to be showing you how to make this very cheap slime farm that's right here that I have just designed. Now, as always, before we get into the main bulk of the video, I do just want to point out that there are a lot of people working on Minecraft Bedrock Edition farms, and it is likely that somebody else has made a farm like this or similar to this before. I have not intentionally copied anyone for the designing of this farm. However, there is always a chance that someone else has made it as well. I actually did a couple of live streams quite a while ago now designing this farm, and I'll link those in the description if you're interested. But yeah, basically I haven't intentionally copied anyone or anything like that. So the way this slime farm works is pretty simple. A slime will spawn on one of these spawning layers, and then it will get attracted to the snow golem, and then, go on the magma where it will die eventually. Eventually the magma will kill it. Now we've got all of these slabs here basically to prevent the snow golem from actually being able to shoot the slimes themselves. And yeah, this farm is actually really, really efficient. And then we've just got a helper minecart underneath the magma and these slabs that just picks up all of the slime. As you can see here, we already have a stack and 28, and I haven't put any slime in here. All of this slime has naturally spawned just as I've been around in the area. Of course, you can make whatever storage system you want. This is just a little basic one I just built for the purpose of this tutorial. So whilst this slime farm isn't going to be the most efficient, it is still going to be good for one thing. It is pretty cheap. As you can see here, it is a design that uses snow golems instead of iron golems, because iron golems are obviously more expensive. And then also, all we've got is these slabs, and you can use any type of slabs and then blocks. Basically, all you need for this farm is a bit of magma, a couple of slabs, a couple of levers, a couple of rails, some jack-o'-lanterns. So really, and there will be a full materials list if you're interested in the description down below. But really, there is really not that much at all for this farm. So as I mentioned, because this farm obviously uses snow golems, it does mean that you're not going to be able to build this farm in a desert or a savanna or any other biomes where it doesn't rain in and snow golems melt. Because yes, snow golems do in fact die and melt in some biomes, so you aren't going to be able to build this farm in those biomes. But, most of the biomes will be fine. It's just not things like a desert or a savanna. So one other thing to point out about this farm is that it is designed for Bedrock Edition. I haven't tested if it works on Java Edition, so it might work on Java Edition. I don't know, I haven't tested it. However, it is designed for Bedrock Edition, which means it will work on any of the Bedrock platforms, including mobile, console, Windows 10, I think that's all of them unless I've missed one of them. But yeah, just all of the Bedrock Edition devices. And the easiest way to check if you're playing Bedrock Edition is if your pause screen looks something a little bit like this, where it's got these buttons in this order. And if your pause screen looks something like this, then chances are you're playing Bedrock Edition. But without further ado, let's get into the actual main tutorial. So first of all, you're going to need to locate yourself a slime chunk. Now, locating slime chunks is actually pretty simple. You're simply going to want to open whatever web browser you want to use. Then go to chunkbase.com, this website here. Click on this apps button and then click on slime chunk. Now, you don't actually need to know the seed of your world. If you press it to Bedrock Edition, then the slime chunk layout for Bedrock Edition is actually the exact same for every single world. So in every single world seed, this chunk with these coordinates will be a slime chunk, for example. So what you're then going to want to do is get hold of your coordinates. I'm just going to screenshot it right here. And then type those coordinates down here. So 221 and then -2. Don't worry about the y coordinates. Press go. And then this will take you to a little red dot. This is the coordinates that you just typed in. And then all of these green chunks are chunks that are slime chunks, which means if you mine them out, slimes will spawn in them. So I'm just going to pick this slime chunk right here. And as you can see here, we now need to take note of the X and the Z coordinates that is given us down here. To change the position of this little red dot, just simply double click on the map. But yeah, anyway, we're going to take note of these coordinates. So here we are back on the world, and we need to go to 248 and then 40, which is right here. Now, this next part might be a bit hard for some of you. However, you're going to want to mark out the chunk boundaries. Now, I have showed multiple resource packs on the channel before, and there will be one linked in the top right and in the description if you need a resource pack that shows you chunk borders. However, I'm just going to be using Foxy No-Tail's chunk borders resource pack. There are other methods of finding chunk borders too. I will link a video in the description or in the pinned comment or somewhere of how to find chunk borders if you can't use a resource pack like the one I am right now. But as you can see, this is marked out the chunk border. So this next bit is pretty optional, but you're basically going to need to decide if you want to build the most efficient version of this farm or a slightly less efficient version of this farm. So over here we have the more efficient version of the farm, and the reason it's more efficient is because we've mined it all the way to the surface. So slimes actually only spawn below level 40. However, if you mine your slime chunk all the way through, then it will mean that the top spawning platform has skylight access, which means it will actually get the same mob cap that the surface has, because the surface mob cap is higher than the cave mob cap. So this top spawning platform will have a higher mob cap than these bottom spawning platforms, because they will be under the cave mob cap. So basically, if you want to do more work to get a more efficient farm, then you're going to need to mine your slime chunk all the way down. And if you don't want to get as good rates, then you're only going to need to mine out from 40, Y level 40 downwards. So after you've decided whether you want to mine all the way down or not, you're then going to actually want to mine out the entire chunk. So as you can see here, I've just got a command block to do it, but boop. Let's just try that again now that I've added the air. Boop. And as you can see, we have mined out the entire chunk that we need. So you're going to need to mine all the way down until you're standing on Y level 5. The other thing you're going to want to make sure to do is block off any water that you encounter. You may encounter lava in the actual, like as you're mining. So you're going to need to make sure that all of your lava is removed as well. And then also block off all of your caves. It's also recommended that you light up the surrounding caves so that the mob cap will be higher for your slime farm. So as you can see, I have completely mined out, or used commands, I guess, this slime chunk all the way from the top all the way to the bottom to Y equals 5. What you're then going to want to do is get your solid blocks and just fill in this Y level. So you're just going to need to fill this in all the way. And it can be any solid block. It does not have to be smooth stone. I'm just using it with smooth stone because it's easy to count and easy to see and that sort of thing. So the next step is to decide where you want your kill area to be, and then the side that you do that will also be the side that your items kind of go to. So if you have like already built like an underground base, for example, in one of the sides, then you're going to want to build it in that side. So just for the purpose of today's video, we're going to do it right here as soon as I get rid of that enderman. So yeah, for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm just going to do it in this side, but you can do it in whatever side you want. And I would actually recommend just getting any block that you really want and just marking out the middle of your spawning platform. So that is actually not the middle. The middle should be 7 blocks in each direction. So that's 7 blocks, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you're marking out the middle as like a 4x4. You don't actually have to do this, but it might just help with some things. Then what you're going to want to do is come over to here, and you're going to want to build up by 2 like this. And you're going to want to make a 2x4 area like I have done right here. And it needs to be 2 blocks high. Now, of course, you're probably going to need to build some temporary blocks just to get up here. But then what you're going to want to do is look at this block right here that's on the wall. And you're going to place slabs on the top half of it, going around the thing that you just built like this. And then you're going to want to go to the block above the slabs you just placed and do the same again. So you should end up with 2 rings of slabs. Now place in your snow golem, and you can place in a torch or 2 there just to make sure no mobs spawn inside with the snow golem. You're then going to want to just build a roof or a ceiling on top of it. So after you've built your first snow golem pod, you're going to want to go from the top slab, and you're going to want to go out by 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you can destroy all of these blocks and then place a slab on the side of the block that you placed down. If you marked out the center, then this block should be 1 block away from the center. And your Y level should also be Y equals 10. The Y levels do matter in this farm. You're then going to want to go out by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks, and then face towards the wall that has your snow golem area and build out until you connect with it like this. You're then going to want to do the same on this side as well. Basically, you want to make sure that there is a 3-block gap hole, 1, 2, 3. As you can see, a 3-block gap hole between the spawning platform that you're about to build and then your snow golem area so that slimes can actually fall down it. After you've built this ring, or half a ring, half a square, half a rectangle, whatever you want to call it, of slabs, you're then going to want to fill in the rest of this Y level with solid blocks. So as you can see here, I have now filled in this entire layer with solid blocks, just leaving a 3-block gap away from the snow golem area for slimes to jump down into it. So after you've built in your second spawning platform, you're then going to want to come back down to your bottom one, and this is where having the center marked out is very useful, because you're going to want to go to the edge of your center and then go across to any of the walls. So as you can see, I'm now lined up with the edge of the center of the platform. Then go out by 3, starting with this block. So 1, 2, 3. Destroy that block and place in a jack-o'-lantern. Do the same on this side, and then the same on this side, and also this side. There we go. So now you should end up with a pattern that looks a little bit like this, and this is going to make sure that your spawn platform is actually fully lit up. So this is Future Alien coming back to do this tutorial, because I've just realized that I've done a step in the wrong order. So for me, I'm not really recording this chronologically, but for you guys, I'll obviously, with the power of video editing, make sure it is. So after you have placed all of these jack-o'-lanterns, what you're then going to want to do is come over to this area where we obviously have the snow golem, and you're going to want to do basically exactly what we had going on down there. So place these slabs on the top half of the first block, and then on the top half of the second block above the platform, and then place in 2 blocks of snow, carve pumpkin to make yourself a little snow golem, 2 torches there if you want to, and then simply place in a little bit of a roof right there. Now, for part of this tutorial, you're not actually going to be able to see this because I've recorded it in the wrong order, but don't worry about it. I'll make sure that it's still pretty clear what to do. You're then going to want to fill in both of the far corners on your bottom spawning platform like this, as you can see here. Then come over to one of the far corners on your top platform and build up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then mark out, because this is going to be another spawning layer. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be another spawning layer. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be another spawning layer. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once you get to y equals 38, this is actually the highest spawning layer that you're going to build. Do not build any higher than this, because slimes won't spawn on them. So each of these that you marked out in however way, I just placed some blocks here. These are all going to be your spawning platforms, and they're all going to be built in the same way. So the next part of this tutorial, you're either going to have to memorize or keep coming back to build each of your 7 spawning layers. So you're just going to want to basically mirror what you have going on that spawning layer, except for you do not need this outer layer that we kind of had, this like outer layer of rings, to be made of slabs. You want it to be made of full solid blocks. So once you've filled in this entire spawning platform like I have right here, you're then going to want to come over here to the snow golem area, and you're going to want to build 1 block above your previous layer. The reason why is because we want the snow golem to be standing on a block that is 1 block above the actual spawn layer. So we're going to have the snow golem standing here, and the slimes are going to spawn here. So as you can see here, the snow golem is 1 block above the slime. So what you're going to need to do is place in slabs going around the spawn. going around the inside of the snow golem area on the top half of the first block, and then do the same for the second block. Then place in your snow and pumpkins to make yourself a little snow golem, and then simply top it off with a roof. You're now going to need to repeat this like basically all the times until you've filled in all of the spawning platforms that you have marked out. So just do this exactly the same for each one. Either rewind the tutorial or memorize it. It's not a super hard thing to remember. So after you have filled in all of your like spawning platforms and built them, for the top one, you can actually put slabs on the roof instead, and I would recommend doing this so no mobs spawn there, obviously, instead of putting solid blocks. So yeah, just put slabs like that. That means no mobs will spawn there. Then heading back down, you're going to want to make sure that you have placed jack-o'-lanterns in the same place we place them on our bottom layer on every single spawn layer. So the easiest way is just to find one jack-o'-lantern spot, mine up, and then go back down placing them. Obviously, if you don't have elytra, this is going to be a little bit harder for you. So there we go. As you can see, we have now got in all of the jack-o'-lanterns. So now what you're going to want to make sure to do is in both the far corners from your snow golems, there needs to be a pillar going all the way through. So I've kind of already done it on this side. So I'll just show you how to do it on this side. You've just got to destroy all these blocks and then go to the bottom and then place a massive pillar all the way through. And then when you get to the top spawn platform, go up by 3 blocks and place a slab on top. And then make sure you've done that to both sides as well. So there now should be a pillar going straight through both of the corners of your slime farm. So there we go. We now have 2 pillars on both corners, and this is to prevent any slimes from spawning in those corners because they might glitch out into the wall, or the other thing that they'll do is not get attracted to the snow golem sometimes. So yeah, this just means that your farm is more efficient. So if you have been loading this area for a long time, then you might have a ton of slimes down here, and we don't want those slimes, so we are just going to kill all of these guys because we do not want them here right now. So when you're at the bottom here, you're then going to want to go away, you stupid slime. More of them have fallen down after I've killed them. They're being very annoying. So you're going to want to mine out 2 blocks out in every direction from your snow golem area, like this. And then you're going to want to do the rails. So the rail work is pretty simple. So you can put down your rails in whatever order you want. I've kind of done it like this, so I'll just go around and then you guys can copy it. Let me just kill these slimes. So yeah, as you can see, I'll just kind of go around and then you guys can copy the rails to however you want. They are pretty simple to build. And then this is where you'll have it going into whatever sorting system you want. So just for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to place 2 hoppers right here. So 2 hoppers right here. And just for the purpose of this tutorial, this is going to be my sorting system because I don't want to build a much bigger, fancier one. And then just make sure that this block is filled in right here. And then you're going to want to get out your slabs and place them in a ring on the outside like this. And then to power any of these powered rails, you're going to want to place levers on the side. Unfortunately, you can't place levers on top of the slabs, so just place them on the side of that block. And as you can see, it's now powering those powered rails. You don't need to place 2, but I like to for symmetry, because I personally like making sure that this sort of thing is as symmetrical as possible. You're then going to want to get out your magma and then fill it in like this. Obviously, make sure that there aren't any slimes down here, otherwise it's not really going to work. So there we go. Have your magma going out like this. And then you're going to need to place in yourself some levers on top of the magma to make sure that they're all powered and stuff. So if you use the same rail design that I was, then here is all of the lever positions. And of course, you need to make sure that all of these levers are flicked on and actually powering the powered rails. So I'm actually coming here after editing this video because I've realized I've forgotten a pretty important step. And that is make sure to add your hopper minecart so that, you know, it will actually collect all of your drops just onto your rail system. So after you've done that, then make sure that this wall is fully closed so that no slimes get in there. Also, this area over here, you're going to want to make sure it is completely spawn proof or lit up with torches because you don't want mobs spawning in here and taking up the mob cap. And as you can see, that is actually the farm completely done now. So congratulations, you have actually completely finished this slime farm. So here is the slime farm that I showed you at the start of the video. And obviously I built a new slime farm over there for the tutorial because I was just kind of intrigued to see how much slime it's actually ended up getting from this. So if we go back here, you can see here that we've got all of this slime. So what I had is my old account just stood right here, just AFKing here, just to see how much slime we could get whilst we were, you know, like building the other one. And this is how much we've got. And obviously I built it in creative, so I built it way quicker than you would have in survival, which means that, yeah, you're going to get basically a ton of slimes from this farm. It is really, really, really quite efficient, despite the fact it's not even the most efficient slime farm there is on Bedrock Edition. So you may be wondering how to make a dual slime chunk version of this farm, and it's actually pretty simple. I made it so that you could build it like 2 of them next to each other pretty easily, and I actually did the same thing on AlienCraft. So this is a slightly older design because it uses different jack-o'-lantern placement that actually isn't going to work, and then the magma down there is slightly different. I do need to upgrade this farm basically. This is not using my latest design that I showed off in today's video. However, the snow golem area is the same, and that's kind of the important part. So on these 2 blocks right here is where you would have the like wall if this was just a single slime chunk, and then if you're doing a dual slime chunk, you're just going to need to do something like this. It's pretty simple to build, and yeah, because there are obviously, I would recommend personally doing it as a dual slime chunk. I mean, I could show you how much profit I've got from doing it this way. So if we look in this chest, you can see here that we have got all of this slime from actually, you know, building the farm in this way. And bear in mind, that's hardly any AFK time at all. That's mostly just been me being in the general area working on projects, and this has been working in the background. And obviously, if we craft out all of these slime blocks, then we'll end up with like so many slime balls. It is actually ridiculous. Obviously, the other thing to bear in mind is that you need to make sure your caves are as lit up as possible. I haven't done a ton of cave lighting in this area. However, I have done a bit, which is going to make sure that, you know, you get the best rates possible on the slime farm. But other than that, that's the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe today to join the Alien Empire. I'll see you in the next video coming soon. Bye.